Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 13th March 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. And today is also end of the week, so I will be generating few additional reports for weekly time frame when I am generating the stocks near weekly demand and supply zones. So before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. And it is a highly expensive training course. Even then we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, according to the training instructions mentioned at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So join our Telegram channel. At the top of the Telegram channel window, you can find pinned messages. Click on the pinned messages. One of the messages, you can find all the training instructions. So please learn this course according to those training instructions. Then you will become a very good independent trader in the coming months. Please make use of this opportunity. Now I'm going to generate supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. Starting with the yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report and then proceed to the next reports. In case if you does not understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. That is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next. Stocks price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next. Stocks near half yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. First 23 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 40 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on quarterly demand zones having quarterly EMA confluence. I'm going back. Now I'm setting EMA confluence on the quarterly time frame by setting the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. When you set the EMA confluence, the trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to 20 stocks. All these 20 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence and also the current price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. Okay, next quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Let's verify out of these 4 how many quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence at quarterly time frame, I am selecting the filter quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA Confluence. We got 3 stocks. These 3 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence and also current price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. Okay, this is quarterly. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Next monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Next monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 19 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 53 stocks are filtered. Out of these 53, how many stocks are having monthly demand zone with monthly EMA Confluence? Let us filter. In the EMA Confluence monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence, and trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got, now the list is reduced. First 21 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 28 stocks are filtered. In these 28 stocks, all the monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence and also current price closed inside those monthly demand zones. Okay, next monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Let's verify out of these 9 how many monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. Monthly supply zone with monthly EMA Confluence, and trend on the monthly time frame should not be sideways. It is up or down. We got 3 stocks are filtered. These 3 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence and also current price closed inside the monthly supply zone. So this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. We will also generate a few additional weekly reports because today is the end of the week, because tomorrow is a holiday. For weekly time frame, stocks near weekly demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered. Stocks near weekly demand zone. Next, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 52 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So I'm going back. Here in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am selecting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence. And also trend on the weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now the list is come down to only 3 stocks. These three weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence. And also current price closed inside these weekly demand zones. Out of these three, first one is a pierced weekly demand zone. Okay. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. Out of these 21, let us verify how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. So I'm going back. In the EMA confluence filter at weekly time frame, I am selecting the option weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And trend on the weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 9 stocks. These 9 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. And also current price closed inside those weekly supply zones. Okay, this is about price closed inside the weekly supply zone. Next, tested weekly supply zones we will find for weekly time frame. The tested weekly demand zones during this week. The stocks having tested weekly demand zones. So these 13 stocks are having demand zones tested during this week. Okay, next, for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having tested weekly supply zones. So these 13 stocks are having supply zones are tested during this week. Okay, Nifty 50 supply zone also tested during this week. Okay, next, newly created zones. For weekly time frame, let us find the newly created weekly demand zones during this week. The stocks having newly created weekly demand zones. So these two stocks are having newly created weekly demand zones. Only 2 new weekly demand zones are created. Okay, next we will see newly created weekly supply zones. The stocks having newly created weekly supply zone. Okay, these 8 stocks are having newly created weekly supply zones. So all these supply zones are created during this week. Okay, this is about newly created zones. Next, we will identify the stocks based on the weekly, monthly and quarterly demand zone confluence supported stocks. So weekly time frame in the demand zone confluence, I am selecting 3 filters. First one is a weekly demand zone having monthly demand zone confluence. Weekly demand zone having quarterly demand zone confluence. And then monthly demand zone having quarterly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 demand zone confluence, how many stocks we got? Let us scroll the list down. First 16 stocks in the list. So total 38 stocks are filtered. That means weekly zone is overlapped with monthly zone. Both together again overlapped with quarterly zone. If quarterly zone is having quarterly EMA confluence, then with this setup, those stocks might be having more high probability to get success. So let's add that EMA filter on the quarterly zone. Why quarterly? Because the weekly and monthly together are part of the quarterly zone. That's why we are selecting EMA confluence on the quarterly zone. What is the filter? Quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And when you select EMA Confluence, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, because sideways trend EMA Confluence does not add any extra advantage. So that's why we are not selecting sideways. We are selecting only up or down. Okay, with these filters, now the list is come down to 25 stocks. So first 16 stocks on the list. Scrolling the list down, but some mistake I did here. Which one? Oh, sorry, no mistake. I thought I selected a wrong time frame. We selected correct time frame. Quarterly time frame, we filtered. The trend is not sideways. Quarterly time frame, either trend is up or down. In all, these are all uptrend stocks quarterly. I'm scrolling the list down. Okay, 25 stocks. Similarly, we will look into supply zone confluence for weekly time frame. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter, weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Next, weekly supply zone with quarterly supply zone confluence. And then monthly supply zone with quarterly supply zone confluence. That means all the 3 are overlapped with each other. Let's filter. We got only 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, weekly supply zones are overlapped with monthly supply zone. Both together again overlapped with quarterly supply zone. Let's check how many of these quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, I am selecting the filter quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got only 2 stocks. Okay, this is about a weekly time frame, and the next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 18 stocks. Let us look into the high liquidity demand zones from this list. Nifty 50 is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. Motherson is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. That's it. We have only 2 stocks, Nifty and Motherson. These 2 are the daily high liquidity demand zones. Okay, next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Kalyani Jewellers is having a daily high liquidity supply zone, and it is also having daily high liquidity demand zone. Next, Kotak Bank is having a daily, but it is a pierced zone. You can't use the pierced zone for HLQ zone strategy. That means we have only one valid high liquidity daily supply zone, Kalyani Jewellers. Okay, next, daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. After that, we will filter with EMA confluence. So total 57 stocks. Let's further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. At daily time frame, I am selecting daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. And trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, Now the list is come down to 16 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 16 stocks are filtered. Okay. Next, daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 35 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. So let me add that EMA filter. So in the EMA Confluence at daily time frame, I am selecting daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. And trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 13 stocks. So in these 13 stocks, the daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence and also current price closed inside the daily supply zone. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 22 stocks are filtered. Okay, next. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 18 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. High liquidity demand zones, 75 minutes demand zones. But it is a pierced zone, you can't use it. Okay, Cholamandalam Finance is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. Obra Realty is a pierced zone, so it is not a valid zone. Paytm is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. PFC is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. Shenzhen is not valid, is a pierced zone. But anybody wants to use pierced zone strategies, you can look into this stock. Okay, so total we identified 3 valid high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Okay, next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minute supply zones. We don't have any 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. We don't have any stocks. Okay, with this we have completed daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Next, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Out of these 6, let us verify how many are having ITF Confluence, demand zone Confluence. that is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 7 stocks. Let us verify how many of these supply zones are having ITF supply zone Confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. Enable the filter. We got only 2 stocks. And second one is pierced supply zone, you can't use it. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Let's verify out of these 8 stocks how many are having ITF demand zone Confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I enable the filter. We got 4 stocks. That means these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. Okay, next for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Let's verify out of these 8 how many 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. So 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone, I enable the filter. Now we got only 1 stock. So this 5 minute supply zone is overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. So next set of reports are about NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let me start with NIFTY. Starting with monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones, and always look into LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules to the remaining supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Twenty-sixth is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Okay, next, 15-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All are supply zones. I'm scrolling the list down. $40 is the nearest demand zone to the closing price. I'm adjusting in the center. Okay. Next, 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All are supply zones. I'm scrolling the list down. $68 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me adjust in the center. Okay, so this is Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. Starting with monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Number 27 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Okay, next, 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. All are supply zones. I'm scrolling the list down. 36 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, PR's demand zone. So let me put it in the center. Okay. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. With this, we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So next set of reports are about bullish and bearish trade setups. Okay, first bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone, and in bullish or bearish trade setup at daily I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone and minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. With these filters, we got 9 stocks. These 9 are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and the entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. All these are all daily demand zones. So out of these 9 daily demand zones, we need to find high probability setup supported daily demand zones based on the zone confluence. First filter is daily and weekly demand zone confluence, LTF, ITF, demand zone confluence. So I'm enabling the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone Confluence. With this filter, out of 9 stocks, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. And if weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, then these daily demand zones are having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, because the daily zone is overlapped with weekly. That's why we are checking weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA Confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are having even more high probability to get success. Okay, this is LTF, ITF demand zone Confluence and ITF EMA Confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone Confluence supported stocks. I am removing this ITF EMA filter. Next, in the demand zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled, daily with weekly. Next, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone Confluence. Weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got only 1 stock. So this daily demand zone overlapped with weekly demand zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. And look into the monthly trend, uptrend. If monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence, then this daily demand zone might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, I am selecting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. Anyway, monthly trend is uptrend. But we did not get that stock. So this is a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, we will look into bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone in bullish or bearish trade setup. At daily, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhancer score 12. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. And these 4 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. And entry time frame is a daily supply zone. We have 4 daily supply zones. Out of these 4 stocks, how many supply zones, daily supply zones are having more high probability to get success? Let us verify. First filter is based on LTF and ITF supply zone Confluence. That is a daily and a weekly supply zone Confluence. Let us enable that filter. Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone Confluence. We got all the 4 stocks. That means in all the 4 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is down in all these stocks. So let's verify if any of these stocks, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, then these daily supply zones might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, why weekly? Because the daily is overlapped with weekly. That's why we are looking for weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. Anyway, trend is a downtrend in all these stocks. We got 3 stocks. Out of 4, we got 3. All the 3 trend is downtrend. And the weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. Inside the weekly, we have a daily supply zone. These daily supply zones are inside the weekly supply zone. That weekly is having weekly EMA Confluence. That's why these are even more high probability trade setup supported daily supply zones to get the success. Okay, this is LTF, ITF and ITF EMA Confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone Confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone Confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Next, daily supply zone with monthly supply zone Confluence. Weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zones. Both together overlapped with monthly supply zones. But monthly trend is sideways. That's why no need to check for monthly EMA Confluence because it does not give any extra advantage. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, we will look into weekly income trade reports. First weekly income trade bullish trade setup, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone demand zone in bullish or bearish at 75 minutes. I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12 and pierced zone 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I'm selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means the zone is not pierced. Which zone? Whichever the zone you selected here, that is 75 minutes demand zone. So let's filter. We got 3 stocks. So these 3 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. We have 3 daily demand zones. Let's verify out of these 3 high probability trade setup supported daily demands. These are the 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 3 75 minutes demand zones, which one is having high probability to get success? Let's filter based on the zone confluence. 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. That is what LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Now the list is filtered all the 3 stocks. That means in all the 3 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in all the 3 stocks. ITF trend is daily trend. So if daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, then the 75 minutes demand zones might be having more probability to get success. Let's verify how many we will get. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am selecting daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, and daily trend is already uptrend. So one stock is filtered. So this stock is having even more high probability to get success for the demand zone, 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to select. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Next 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone, and weekly trend is up in both the stocks. If any of these stocks weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, then the stocks are even having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, I am selecting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Already both the stocks trend is uptrend. Let's filter. Again we got on HDFC Bank only. So that means this is having even more high probability to get success. So this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. And the zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score is 12. And 75 minute supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 17 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones, all these supply zones. Nifty Bank is also there in this list. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. Out of these 17, how many of these 75-minute supply zones are having more probability to get success? Let's verify based on the first filter, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. Let us enable that filter in the supply zone confluence. 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of 17 stocks, we got 11 stocks. In these 11 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. So that's why if any of the daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, then these 75-minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame. Why daily? Because 75-minute supply zone is overlapped with daily. That's why we are checking daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, daily trend is a downtrend. We got 7 stocks. These 7 are having more high probability to get success compared to the other stocks. So these 75-minute supply zones. Okay. This is based on LTF, ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily, that is 75 with daily. Next, 75-minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters are enabled, we got 3 stocks. So in these 3 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend, HTF trend is down in all the 3 stocks. That's why if any of the, in these 3 stocks, if weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, then those stocks, 75-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, I am selecting weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is down in all the 3 stocks. So we got 1 stock. So this 75-minute supply zone is having even more high probability to get success. So this is bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, we will look into daily income trade supported stocks. Daily income trade, bullish entry time frame is 15 minutes, entry zone is demand zone, and bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bullish. And zone achievement is a violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score is 12, and 15 minutes demand zone is having should not be pierced zone. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With all the 3 filters, we got only 1 stock. So this 1 stock is supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zone is 15 minutes demand zone. Let's check this 15 minutes demand zone is having ITF zone confluence. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I enable the filter. Excellent, it is filtered. That means this 15-minute zone is overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up. Let's check if the 75 minutes zone is having daily EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, the stock is filtered. That means it is having even more high probability to get success. This is based on LTF, ITF, demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will check this is also having HTF demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Next 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence with all the 3 filters. This is also filtered again. That means this 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. If the daily demand zone is having daily EMA, this stock is having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, and daily trend is also uptrend in bullish trade setup. So it is again filtered. That means this is having even more high probability to get success because all parameters are satisfied here. So this is about a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. And zone achievement is violated opposing zone. And minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. And the 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0 with these filters. We got 15 stocks. These 15 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And all these entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. All these supply zones are 15 minute supply zones, entry zones. Okay, out of these 15 minute supply zones, how many are having high probability to get success? That we will find based on the supply zone confluence, ITF, LTF, later ITF, HTF and LTF, ITF is the first filter. Next filter LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence. And we will also add EMA confluence specific to ITF and HTF. Okay, first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, that is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I enable the filter. We got 11 stocks out of 15. That means all these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in all these stocks. ITF trend is 75 minutes. So that is the reason why let us verify if any of the 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, then those 15 minute supply zones are having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, trend is down in all the stocks. It is bearish trade setup. So 2 stocks are filtered. So these 2 stocks might be having even more high probability to get success. Both these 15 minute supply zones. This is based on LTF, ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled 15 minutes with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Next, 15 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. So in these 4 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Again, both together overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in 3 stocks, second, third and fourth stocks. And among these 3 stocks, if any daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, then these 15-minute supply zones might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. So in the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, I am selecting daily supply zone is having daily EMA Confluence. And the trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So we got one stock. So this stock is having, this 15-minute supply zone is having even more high probability to get success compared to the others. So this is bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next we will generate hourly income trade reports. For hourly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bullish. And this zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. And this is a 5 minutes demand zone, should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value 0. So with these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. And the entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. We have 5 minutes demand zone supported stocks. Out of these 5 minutes demand zones, how many are having ITF demand zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. So enable the filter. With this filter, out of 5, we got all the 5 stocks. So that means in all these 5 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. And a 15 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. If any of those 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA, then probably those zones might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at 15 minutes time frame, I am checking 15 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA Confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 5 minutes demand zones are having even more high probability to get success. But this is LTF, ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. That is a daily, actually ITF demand zone with daily EMA confluence. Okay, next we will look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing this EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, that is 5 minutes with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. Next 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. And 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. That means all are part of 75 minutes demand zone. That's why we will check if any of the stocks are having 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence, especially first one and third one. Second one sideways trend, we can't use EMA confluence. Okay, let's go back. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting the filter. 75 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA confluence. And the trend on the 75 minutes time frame should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So we got one stock. So this 5 minutes demand zone is having even more high probability to get success compared to the other stocks. So this is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame is 5 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. And zone achievement violated opposing zone and minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. And 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced zone, in the pierced count, at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value should be 0, maximum value 0. With all the three filters, we got 15 stocks. So these 15 stocks at present, they are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zone should be 15 minutes, entry time frame zone should be 5 minute supply zones. Because entry time frame is 5 minutes. And entry zone is supply zone. That's why our entry zones are these 5 minute supply zones. We have 15 5 minute supply zones are available. Out of these 15 5 minute supply zones, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 13 stocks. In these 13 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with the 15 minute supply zones. And 15 minutes trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. So that's why if any of the 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, then those stocks might be having even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting 15 minutes supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these two 5 minute supply zones are having more high probability to get success compared to the other stocks. But this is LTF, ITF, supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. 5 minutes with 15 minute supply zone confluence. Next, 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. And 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. That means in these 4 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minute supply zone trend is down in only one stock. If this stock is having daily EMA confluence, 75 minute supply zone with daily EMA, then it might be having more high probability to get success. Otherwise, EMA confluence can't be used. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, checking 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. But the trend at 75 minutes time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend only because it is bearish trade setup. So let's filter. So we don't have any EMA confluence supported on 75 minutes time frame. So this is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. With this, we have completed hourly income, all the income trades. And final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. Okay, first 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down, whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. After that, you can proceed. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.